Welcome back to class, everybody. I hope that you all had a great Thanksgiving break. Nice to step away from the class for a while, and that all of you, majority of you, are back in the classroom with us. It will be nice to have class going again. Remember, this is a resource for those who are unable to be in class. Because before up to Thanksgiving break, you worked on your research portion of your research paper. Between now and our winter break, we will be working on actually writing the research paper. There are lots of resources in your packet that will help you. Our lessons between now and then will help you to write a research paper and to cite things correctly in MLA. Your research paper will be at least 6 pages long, plus an extensive works cited page that is a part of your actual research paper. Today, to begin that, we're going to be talking about how to develop a claim or a thesis for a research paper. And there are 3 main types: fact, policy, and value. And in the lesson, we'll go over each of those. In your academic notes, we're going to talk about research style. Research style is a lot like academic style. However, there are certainly parts of documentation that become a part of research style. So for research writing, what I want you to do is to pull out some of your articles from your annotated bibliography. And what we're going to be doing in class is looking over them for about 5 minutes and gathering up a bunch of words that would describe the type of voice that these authors use in their research paper, and putting a list on the board for the students to see. Because you are not in class, I can give you some overviews of what research style looks like. Of course, it is academic. It is in third person. It is highly objective rather than subjective. The details are specific. The writing needs to challenge a college reader and teach them something new about a topic. And the content of a research paper should be highly specialized. So those are some of the terms that I would use if I were talking about a research paper. What I'd like you to do is look at some of your academic articles that you used in your annotated bibliography and make a list of what you notice about the writing style in those articles, because that is basically what you're going to be doing when you write your research paper, is taking on that similar style. For our class today, we are going to be talking about writing a claim or a thesis for a research paper. Remember, your claim is what you're trying to prove. So of course there has to be an opinion as part of that claim. And to do that, you can see that I have the rhetorical triangle on our slide today, where each of you have been researching a specific part of a subject. And as a writer, you have learned something, hopefully, about your topic that you are now going to present in new information for a reader. And remember, your audience is a college student who wants to learn something new about the topic. And so if you'll notice, in red, in between each of those 3 words on the rhetorical triangle, there's some things for you to think about as you write. For example, as a writer, when you're talking about your subject, the assertion that you make about your subject is a claim. So remember, assertion means that it is an opinion. So that's the first key word you need to remember about a claim. When you're talking about the subject and the audience, you have to think about a warrant. And if you look at the warrant, it says assurance that the data is based on solid principles, thus contributing to its validity and trustworthiness. So your topic for your audience should be believable, and it's your job as a writer to make your reader trust your words and the information you're going to provide about your problem solution topic to the reader, and they would learn something and be able to use the information that they learn further as they discuss your topic with somebody else. And then you'll notice the word support is between the writer and the audience. Your responsibility as a writer is to provide enough detail and support to support your claim that your audience will trust what you have to say. So here are some examples of not good and then really good examples of a claim. So at the top, I put a not so good version that ties into Little Red Riding Hood as an example. So if I said something like, in my opinion, Little Red Riding Hood is a classic tale of good versus evil, and my audience is not going to care at all about that assertion that I make and whether or not I go about proving it, because it's boring and there's nothing new for them to learn. So if you look at the bullets at the bottom, there are a lot of different versions of how you can take something about Little Red Riding Hood that would appeal to a college reader and still have a claim, and there's enough information about the subject that your audience would believe that your claim is worthy of taking time to read the research paper. So I'm just going to read one of them for you. You can read all three on your own. The first one says, because she dares to defy societal norms of acceptable female behavior, Little Red Riding Hood faces death at the hands of the big bad wolf who embodies patriarchy. So now you can see that an essay dealing with that topic would deal about Little Red Riding Hood as a female, that because she does not go along with societal norms during the time of the fairy tale of what a female was supposed to do, she now is subjected to a man who has control over her and causes her harm. So that is something, if you're thinking about that, then there's a reason why I'd want to read the paper, because it's kind of an interesting idea. And you can look at the other two claims as well and see how these types of claims make the information more enticing for an audience. And I want you to think about that as you're developing your claim between now and Wednesday, that the content that you write in the claim is an opinion, but it's trustworthy and it is challenging and enticing to your reader. Here's another example, and these are some examples that I've taken from television to create some claims and movies as well. So the first one deals with the Brady Bunch, and so in this one it says, as the middle child, Jan Brady is insecure and demonstrates a negative self-perception. She feels inferior to Marcia, who embodies the quality of the ideal teenager, and to Cindy, the innocent child and center of the family's attention. So now I've taken the topic of the Brady Bunch, and I'm focusing specifically on Jan, but I'm providing some psychological ideas that a college reader might be interested to learn about her as a middle child and why she always comes across in the show as being insecure, and especially kind of sandwiched in between the perfect older sister and the baby of the family. And then the other three, you can look at examples there to see how each of those claims gives you an idea of something that would appeal to a college audience. So as you're writing your claim, you need to remember there are three possibilities for problem solution that you can set up your claim. For example, a claim of fact. So a claim of fact is, remember your thesis has to be an opinion, but you're going to provide enough factual contents to support your claim in the body of your paper. A claim of value is based on why we should value one idea over another. And a claim of policy suggests that what we're going to do should change a course of action in society to get something new and change to benefit people in society. And you can look at the example of each of those, but in your mind, think, what am I doing with my research paper? Am I trying to take an opinion about a topic, and I'm going to base a lot of factual content to support that claim when I write my research paper? Am I trying to show that a value that I have about my topic is worthy and my readers should adopt that value? And so you can look at the second example and finally, am I trying to get something changed in some rule or congressional law because society's standards or laws are not beneficial to a particular group that's a part of my topic. So in class, we're going to talk about some details of each of them. I want you to spend some time looking at each of these slides on the key part of it, like claims of fact. This is what you want to do. And then I'd like you to take your topic and write a claim of fact, keeping in mind those bullets that are on the slide. In class, we're going to do an exercise, just coming up with a claim of fact so that we're all on the same page. And these are a series of some ads that a paper company used to advertise its products. So we'll come up with a claim of fact based on these series of pictures that, of course, you are going to slow down and actually think about before you can make some sort of a judgment on them. And then I want you to go to your essay and write a claim of fact. The second one is claim of value. So these are some bullets to keep in mind if you are choosing to write a claim that suggests we should think one way over another way. So look at the bullets on this one. To do that, we're going to look at some fast food advertisements and come up by looking at all of these, not so quickly like I'm running through them right now, but we will come up with a sample claim of value together as a class. And then on your own, you are going to write a claim of value that could fit your research, a possibility for writing a research paper that way. The final one is a claim of policy. Look at the bullets on this one, see what you need to do, where you need to get something changed. And so here we are looking at a series of political cartoons. Because they are all different, in class we are just going to take one and come up with a claim of a policy thesis, write that collectively. This slide is really important because this tells you that you can do more than just write a claim of fact, value, or policy. You can actually combine a couple of them together. And so I've written some samples of thesis statements that combine a couple more. I like these really well because it gives you a lot more possibility of what the content of your essay would be. What we are going to be doing in class with each of these different claims is talking about what the content then actually would be for the research paper. In your packet, you have a handout that talks about things you should think about when you're writing your claim or thesis sentence. Stance, scope, stakes, and logic. There's some samples in there, and I'd like you to look at them and decide how good the claims are. And then, again, you're going to write 3 or 4 different claims and come back to class on Wednesday with the best one. So it serves as the roadmap for what we're going to do on Wednesday and actually start writing the introduction of your research paper. Another thing that we are going to do in class today is look at a sample research paper. I've included one in your packet. I'd like you to locate where in the research paper you can see the claim, where is it located, and how does the writer go about in the body supporting that claim. So this will give you a good overview of what your research paper eventually will look like. So here's a timetable. You have a unit syllabus as well. So you will come back to class on Wednesday writing a solid claim for a college audience. Thank you very much.